An invocation for us? Yes, that will be fine. And afterwards, everyone please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's on.
Father, we just want to pause and say thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. Father, we thank you that we live in a free country where we can gather together and meet as we are meeting. And I pray for these men and these ladies that are leading Rocky Top, and I pray blessings upon them and their families. And I pray, Father, that all that is said and done will honor you and please you. So we thank you for this opportunity that you've given to us to meet together. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Cheers. Okay. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Here.
Bunch,
Here.
Green,
Here.
Phillips, Templin.
Here. Approval of minutes. Approval of August 15th, 2024 City Council meeting minutes. Do I have any discussion in regards to the August 15th meeting minutes? There be no discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the August 15th meeting minutes as written?
Make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Bunch made a motion. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Councilwoman Phillips, seconds. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Templin.
Aye. Approval of August 26, 2024 public hearing minutes. This is in regards to ordinance number 59. Do I have any discussion in regards to the August 26 public hearing minutes? There be no discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I'll make that motion, sir.
Councilman Gillens made a motion. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Councilwoman Phillips, second. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Templin.
Aye. And approval of August 26, special called meeting minutes. This was in regards to second reading of ordinance number 590. Do I have any discussion regarding the August 26 minutes? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I make the motion to approve.
Okay, Councilwoman Phillips made a motion. Do I have a second? Councilman Green, seconds. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Templin.
All right. Okay, recognize citizens, guests, and visitors. We've got a good crowd tonight. Do anyone desire to come before the board? Yes, ma'am. Please, come up here and just state your name. State your name and your address, please.
My name's Donna Walker. I live at 811 Jacksboro Avenue. I have reported, and if this has been taken care of, I apologize, but I have reported that there was a tree overturned between the back of our houses and the back of some other houses. We're right in front of the elementary school. Okay, the root, I mean, where the tree's laying on the side, the root is like this tall. And it's been there for over a year. And we get our yard sprayed for mosquitoes. And right now it's a waste of money because it's like a mosquito fest where that tree was, where the root was. We don't know who owns the property. It's whoever the people on the corner rent from. We don't know who that is. It's a management company.
You know what the
or something.
address is of the home on the
Okay,
corner? Or where the
mine-
tree's at?
Where's that at? Let's see, I'm 811. Okay, like I'm
Would that be Jacksboro or Third Street?
Jacksboro.
Okay.
But it is on the corner of Jacksboro and Third. Third is the one with four-way stop, right?
Mhm.
I get those two
No,
mixed
that's
up.
Fourth.
Okay, it's on the corner of the Fourth and Jacksboro, I get those two mixed up. And, that house on the corner is a rental. Well, in the back is where that tree has fallen over. It looks like it's our neighbors to the left, but they do not own that property and neither does their landlord.
Mhm.
For some reason, that other property kind of goes like this and then over. But it's just a nuisance. It needs to be cleaned up, really bad.
Where's Fire Chief at?
I just talked to him. He's went out there.
He has gone out there?
He has went out there.
Okay, good. All right, thank
Are
you.
they working?
I don't think he found anybody home.
Okay.
There won't be anybody home. Okay, he probably knocked at the house on the corner. They do not answer their door for some reasons. And, but it's the people that live on the corner, it's their landlord that owns the property. I don't know how to get a hold of them.
We can find out.
And,
If the chief's aware of it, he's our code enforcement officer. He'll run it to ground one way or another and find out.
and Mr. Mayor, I would like to speak with you after the meeting, if that is
Yeah,
possible,
that'll be fine.
about a business.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, that'll be fine. Anyone else with any business to come before the board? Okay, close public comment. Mayor's report. Safe Haven Baby Box. How long have we been fooling with it? About 4 months?
Yeah.
April, May, I guess, when we first, this first came up. Well, we got the baby box. The baby box is installed. Dwayne Braden, his company did an outstanding job installing this in the wall of the fire station. There's more work that has to be done to it. I believe we still have the electrical. We've got an alarm system that's put on it. Does everyone know what a Safe Haven Baby Box is? Okay, I think it's great that we're getting one of these up here on this end. They have one in Clinton. The next one going north is a long ways. I hate the thought of what could happen without this sort of avenue for a young lady that may have an unwanted child. That's just, yeah, I'm not going there. But hopefully within the next couple of months, this thing will be in operation. We'll let everyone know when we get there. Committee, council member reports, planning commission. Councilman Gillum.
On the 16th, we met. One of the issues we dealt with was Main Street Baptist Church requested the sale of a parcel of property adjoining one of their parking lots. It's my understanding there was some verbiage missing from, is that correct, sir?
Well, yeah, the verb, it's there now.
Okay.
Because we will still have an easement for utilities
Okay,
in that
okay.
alley.
It's my understanding there was some verbiage missing from the original paperwork that was submitted. We now have the updated,
There were some, they wanted some distances, weren't they?
50 feet.
Distances get added, yeah, but it didn't denote it.
That's on the site plan, that's
Okay,
different.
okay.
Scott, is this the property, the annex, between the annex and the FLC?
Yes, if you go.
It's that street, right?
There's a shed there now,
Yeah,
and then, of course, there's an alleyway
Right.
that was supposed to run from, Third Street up to Fourth Street. I think the upper part of it's already been closed off. So it's just that little section.
It's being used as a driveway on the upper end. It's a driveway for 2 or 3 homes.
Yeah, I think so. So it's like 12 feet by 50 feet, I think is what the dimensions are on it.
Yeah.
But of course, the church is, we're just checking in on whether or not we can build on that piece of property that the church already owns, in that little section right, basically in between one parcel that the church owns and the parking lot that they own.
What action?
Planning Commission recommended it.
Right, the planning commission recommended that sale with the caveat that we still maintain an easement on that existing alleyway line. I've never done this. You said on the board where they disposed of property or sold property.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if it's not the street that you're wanting, they're not asking to
It's the
abandon
alley.
the street.
There's no street,
It's just,
It's the alley. It's grass and everything.
I mean, the
but
only,
it's considered an alley.
It's considered an alley. Basically, it's, like I said, there's a little shed there now
in the gravel parking lot.
in the gravel parking lot. There is a strip there that is alleyway that's in between what the parking lot that the church owns. It's gravel, and of course, it's used as a parking lot. But,
So what are you building on it? I mean,
well, what we're looking at doing is that there is a strip of property behind that little shed, basically across from the ball field, the baseball field. And right there is where we're talking about, we're just looking into possibly building a youth building there, so.
I think the steps forward that we need to do, first as a board, someone has to make the motion, or we have to approve that this is excess property for us, and determine a price to sell this to Main Street Baptist Church, with the caveat that a utility easement remain on that existing line. Now, I don't know if we need to do that tonight, or we need to do that after a contract. I don't,
yeah, I think what you're saying is we would just be basically abandoning the property and then putting it up for sale. If it's our property. So, and from that point, it would just be
we
a
could,
real estate
we
transaction.
could, because I've seen where they've done this in the minutes in the past, and they gave the city manager the authority to negotiate with the buyer. Yeah, I know, make a face. It's in the minutes. A couple different times they've done this to excess property.
You wasn't here that night.
Yeah, this is prior to you, but, I'm not exactly sure how we need to proceed here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the board is in agreement that this is something we could do.
Well, I guess
to the
it's-
church. It is a piece of excess
What
property.
was the planning
for us.
commission's opinion?
Planning commission recommended.
Okay, so then we're just bringing it
There
before.
was some, like I said, there was some verbiage
Yeah,
that needed to be added.
so we're
The
just.
planning commission has, now any structures that you plan to build will have to be brought back to the planning commission for approval. This right here is just, my understanding, just for the 50-foot by 12-foot section, that's a grass bank.
Yeah,
So we as a board will have to declare that this is excess property for us. And then the caveat of what needs to be placed in a contract with the church.
I read the same thing in minutes that you read.
Okay. Awesome. So, do I have a motion to declare this property excess? I'm gonna really need to name a hard location on here to put in the minutes. That would be,
What's on the drawing right there, Jeff?
does that drawing show the property owners on either side?
It does. Michael Lowell, Dorothy Braden, and Main Street. Main Street, on both sides of it, actually.
Can I see that? Please.
I don't see a physical address, so,
See what?
a physical address for the,
No, but we could just, remember, this, make a motion to declare the property, located, between, Third Street and Jacksboro Street. Well, that's not exactly correct, because we're not declaring all of it excess. We're just declaring a 50-foot, section on the north end of this property that is bordered by Main Street Baptist Church on the east and west side, excess, and allowing the city manager to negotiate with Main Street. Main Street would do the contract, have the contract drawn up, to determine an acceptable price to sell this property down for.
Make the motion.
Councilman
We need
Green?
to, do we need to say property or alley?
I say property. That's what it is. It is a, with the caveat that we maintain a utility easement on that property, that be put in the contract. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second, sir.
Okay. Councilman Gillum, second. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch. Green. Phillips.
Aye.
Templin.
All right. Do you halfway understand what I just said? You need any more information on? Okay, we're
I
good?
got it.
Great. Sounds good. Okay, Recreation Committee?
Recreation Committee did not meet today, but I do want to clarify on there was some questions on our trunk or treat / fall festival. It is going to be on November 1st. It is the Friday, the very next day after Halloween. We've put it out there, it's from 6 to 8. We were trying to be mindful of parents' schedules through the week, and we wanted to give the kids another day to wear their Halloween costumes. So that's why we chose November 1st. And other than that, we'll have more info on that next month. We'll meet next month on that one. That's all I've got.
Okay. City Manager's report.
Just a reminder that the month of October will be the fall cleanup, and we will only pick up on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're shorthanded. One of our CDL drivers, he's out, and the other one is doing water. He's busy taking care of that. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be the only days we pick up. Also, we met 2 weeks ago with Public Entity to renew our insurance for the city. And then this is, WBIR will be in town September the 25th to do their 4 o'clock hometown spotlight show. So they asked that, if we could get a crowd there, they'd like to see a crowd.
What is the 25th?
I think it's a
Tuesday.
Wednesday,
I think it's
Wednesday.
Wednesday day.
And then sewer project is 38% complete. They are on day 135 out of 360. But hopefully, they hope to be through by the end of December.
I keep hearing Christmas. They want to be done by Christmas. How many crews are on the job now?
I think they still have 3, but they mentioned in our last meeting that they might bump it up to 7 at one time, so.
That's nuts. They're doing a lot of work all over town. I mean, you see it, you're driving through the holes now. They're doing really good work, too. It's impressed me. I've been out on a lot of their work. And what's sad, probably 2/3 of the work they're doing they're going back in a hole that was dug 20 years ago, where we paid good money to have it fixed 20 years ago and it wasn't fixed right.
Yeah, I've
You
learned,
you just look down, on your street, where you had the existing patches, the old patches in the street, you notice they dug every one of them up and went right back in them again? On High Street, I just noticed.
And Floyd Street.
Yeah, same. They're going right back in the holes that they fixed back in, I don't know, 2008, 2009.
I got to see two things that I've never seen, pipe bursting and manhole relining this week.
Oh, I haven't.
I got to see both of
I
them,
saw the
so
video.
it's pretty
I wanna
neat.
go see it first.
Water insurance, it is complete, our application. They will be sending out brochures explaining how it works. Should take effect around the end of December. Citizens can opt out if they want to. One thing also we looked at is also doing the sewer insurance. The water insurance is going to be $2.35. Sewer insurance will also be $2.35. That is, they will be able to do 2 claims a year, up to $2,500 for both of them. But now, and the,
And this will eliminate these sewer adjustments.
yes,
That,
yes.
that's awesome.
But we turned in, I think Amanda turned in what they wanted today, how to pay and everything. So they're going to be training the staff here on what we need to do. There's a few more things, but in that brochure, it will explain everything. So make sure if you get something from HomeServe or from the city that you open it and read it. Don't throw it away thinking it's junk mail. The other thing is the police department, they are applying for a USDA grant, I think for 2 police vehicles. It's up to $50,000. It's a 75-25 thing. So our pay will be around $17,000. So,
That'd be great. I think the Durangos, wasn't that a USDA grant?
yes,
That's all.
that's all I got.
Okay. Monthly sewer adjustments, $2,611.91. We have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 different properties with adjustments. Several leaks. It's damaged faucet. I'm assuming that's an outside faucet?
Yes, I assume. She didn't tell me about
Burst
that one.
pipe, pressure washing, and Fair Deal Properties, 205 watts. Watts.
It's Sammy.
Sammy.
That,
Sammy. Yeah, it's over there. Watts is over there.
okay.
If that were an interior faucet, I mean,
Yeah, it wouldn't,
we can't attest
We,
that.
exactly.
that's my question, if there's an outside faucet,
The damaged faucet, I don't know. She didn't say anything,
I
mention
mean,
that
generally,
to
they
me.
ask these questions, and they won't put it in here until,
Yeah.
because I asked in there one day, how do we know? And she makes them fill out a paper, Rhonda knows.
I know the only one she told me was Kennedy, and that was a meter that was broke. And we had, what did she say?
Put it in wrong or something.
Yeah, we put it in wrong.
But is that on us or on them?
That it was on us.
Huh?
It was on us, the reason that the leak was there. It was on their side, but
Okay. No, I understand now. Are we reasonably sure, though, that Miss Graham's was an outside faucet?
I know that, I don't know. She didn't mention that, nothing to me about that one.
Was it?
Can we table that one?
I think,
Yeah, I think so. I vote
With the
so.
caveat, if we determine
Yeah.
this is an outside faucet, then.
yeah, because I was gonna make the motion to approve it, except for Elizabeth Graham on
Okay,
114 Pearl
yeah, we
Street,
can-
until we figure out what
Okay.
actually was.
If that's an exterior faucet, then we're good with the
So-
adjustment. If it's an interior, we're not.
Subtract 114 Pearl Street. I make a motion to approve it, except for that one address.
Do I have a second?
I agree with you, Mr. Green, and I'll second.
Call roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Templin.
Aye. Okay, monthly water loss, 50.1%. Now, when you take out our in-house usage, it's just 36%, which is still higher than it should be. And I probably bring this up every meeting, that this in-house usage is the water that we use at the sewer plant to process the sewage. And we are looking at installing a system where we can pull the outfall water, which is treated clean water. Theoretically, you can drink it. I wouldn't, but it's definitely clean enough to use for processed water in the plant, and it wouldn't cost us anything but the electricity to run the pump. We just have to make that happen. We've got a lot of things on the plate right now for the sewer plant that we're trying to repair and move forward to try to improve operations over there. When we get to the point that we get this pump installed, that in-house usage would go away. Police report.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of August, in the police department, officers effected 62 arrests, conducted 263 traffic stops. Out of those, they issued 127 citations and 44 written warnings. They completed 78 incident reports, had 667 calls for service, and no overdoses for this month. That's quite a bit up from last month from the activity. Out on the street performing really well for their city. And Personnel Deputy Chief McGee's still on injury leave. We are starting an unpaid internship program with the UT Criminal Justice student that's going to come on board next week. We've done the background check, the application process with the city manager. Going to help us with a lot of clerical things around the police department to help us out there. And there's also another one potentially for January of 2025 to bring another unpaid intern on board then for that school semester. We had commendations that we issued at our staff meeting earlier today. Officer Culver and myself got our Good Conduct Award. Officer Culver's been here for more than 1 year. Yesterday was my 1 year here at the city, and just want to express that I'm thankful for the opportunity to fill this role and for the trust and responsibility that you all have placed in me. Thank you. Officer Culver was awarded for exemplary service, outstanding acts performed during the performance of his duties. He's been very reliable anytime we've needed anything. He is invested in this community. He's here on the spot anytime that we have a need that needs to be filled. More than happy to do that. He's also been very effective at getting out and effecting arrests, including drug crimes, which really impact our community. Just a couple of weeks ago, he had a major case related to that where he seized a vehicle and some drug money and some guns, including one without a serial number.
He doesn't care to get dirty.
He does not, sir. And Sergeant Perkins was awarded for meritorious service for significant contributions for the betterment of the department and the city. We've been going through a lot of change this last year. The whole city has, and inside the department, and he has been very reliable. Unfortunately, with Deputy Chief McGee getting injured, that had left a void, some big shoes to fill, and Sergeant Perkins has stepped up there. He's managed the scenes on some tragic cases that we've worked over the last few months, done it professionally. He is been a role model to the other officers and sets a high standard of what the city and the department expects of the officers. Also, not included on this, just happened today, one of our officers has turned in a notice to leave due to some family reasons and difficulties in travel. That has just culminated on that officer to where it's, nothing negative with the job or the city or anything. It's just because of the family issues having to take care of that. So we'll be sad to see him go. Our shift coverage, we've had to expend overtime funds for covering due to illness and injury, but we've still maintained 24/7 coverage for the city. For our grants, the only one I have to report on for this month is the BCIF grant. That was a large one from last year. We have a little bit for training for this year. We completed the end of the fiscal year review with the state and had no issues with that review. Internal procedures and equipment, we've had some unexpected motor vehicle repairs. We have one vehicle that we had to do motor mounts, drive shaft, and control arms on. It was pretty expensive on our line item there. And then we had gotten a vehicle replaced by an insurance check from incident on the interstate where it ran over some debris from a semi. So we've gotten that vehicle replaced and still having to work on some minor issues with it to keep it in service. The Comptroller's investigation of the department's evidence system has been completed. It's been published publicly. I believe it's posted on the city's website as well with their findings from that report. A copy of it, I believe, is included in the council packet. The only two things that I had in particular that I wanted to say on that is one of them, it said that the department does not have a current, still does not have an evidence policy. We've been working from a working draft of one. I finished it up the same week that the investigator completed his, so they kind of passed in the mail. That copy is included with the council packet showing that we do have a evidence policy, what that policy is.
Okay.
And then the report of the finding for the delay in reporting on the part of the city, we had a lot of critical areas that we had to address. Evidence was definitely very critical. It's a high liability area for a police department and for a city, but there were several other areas just as important that we were addressing as well.
Well, and I know, the district attorney's office was contacted a year
Yes.
prior for advice
Yes.
in regards to this.
Yes. The accreditation process that we've gotten into, that's a 3-year program, the Tennessee Law Enforcement Accreditation Program through the Tennessee Association of Chiefs of Police. That's the standards for the best practices. We passed our first benchmark milestone, which was appointing an accreditation manager, and also an optional benchmarks in there that we also met was reviewing the standards within that program and comparing them to our current policies that we have in place. We had done that months before, even before we applied for this program, to see how feasible it was, exactly what kind of work we would need to do, and I would say that our policies and procedures that we now have in place meet probably 70% of those standards. So we're on the right track with that. Our next milestone is going to be for the accreditation manager, which is Deputy Chief McGee, to attend the training for that accreditation management role. For training, we submitted our internal training lesson plans to post, the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission. Got approval on those, which was the first time that my staff had completed that, so that was definitely good to see that we had met what they needed for us to include in our required training every year for the officers to maintain their certification. Cases of significance, we had some counterfeit money. It's not true counterfeit, it's copy money or motion picture money that has showed up at some of our local businesses. We did have a check fraud case at a local business. It's not anything, I think, of concern for, other than there's just the general concern for someone may intercept a person's bank routing information. From that case, it looks like they intercepted this business's legitimate check they had mailed out, copied it, and then tried to make some fraudulent checks. We had a business fire at TNT Auto Sales on Highway 116. It's still being investigated. Cause and origin will be determined. We don't have any more information we can speak about on that yet. And then the previous drug case with Officer Culver that I mentioned with the seizure of the vehicle and the weapons and the drugs. Our budgetary expenditures, we are at about 17%. There were some adjustments that Amanda had made that brought down our expenditures a little bit less for designating the line items, so we're on track with our budget for this fiscal year.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
congratulations on your first year.
Yes, sir.
We hope we have many more.
Yes, sir. There's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Fire Department monthly report for August. 23 EMS calls, 1 structure fire, 1 vehicle fire, 3 false alarms, 1 hazmat incident, 1 lift assist, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 1 mutual aid support, and 2 police supports. Total calls, 35 calls, which is a total of 392 for the year to date. Public Works report, garbage truck. Henry, we heard anything else from Landmark?
Call today,
International?
hopefully tomorrow evening.
Great. Our side lift garbage truck has been down, are we on 3 weeks now?
Yes.
The rear end one out of it is still under warranty, thankfully. It's something that it cost us $5,000-6,000. And another advantage we were in, we didn't get rid of the old truck when we got the new truck, the old rear load truck. So that's what they're using, but it's been killing them because these garbage cans are designed to be picked up hydraulically. So you can get a whole lot more in them. And I'd say there's cans out there that are pushing 250, 300 pounds. And it's really working the guys over, loading those cans manually into the back of the rear truck. So hopefully by Monday, we'll have the side boom truck back in service, and we won't have to manually load these cans anymore. Brush truck, 7 tons. That shows that Van Huss has been out sick by the low number of brush picked up, because he's the one who normally drives their truck. Mowing throughout town, weed eating, spraying for weeds, doing a great job. We're doing a great job. Water report. Okay, I know they've been doing a lot of work with Morgan Contracting. Morgan's got into a couple of lines in the last month. I guess the big one was down First Street here. We wound up having to shut the schools down because of it. It's gonna happen. Some of these places, I'll go out on the jobs and, I mean, it looks like spaghetti in the ground when they get it uncovered. And you've got multiple sewer lines, multiple water lines, multiple gas lines, multiple storm drain lines, and they're all in the same pit, and they're in there trying to work around this stuff to repair and make a tap. It's a wonder that they're not tearing something out every day. They treated 11,695,000 gallons of wastewater for the month of August.
Before you go on, I did forget one thing, and I thought it was on the agenda, but it's the financial analysis report. If you look at it, it's up to August, the end of August. It's got the prior year, the current year, and then the percentage that we've received in revenue and what we have spent down below in the general fund. And then on the back 2 pages is the water and sewer. The first 2 is the general fund, and the back 2 is the water and sewer. As you can see, we've, in the general fund, we're about $84,000 short right now from last year. In revenue.
Well, generally, we've got property taxes.
But, yeah,
coming
property
in.
taxes hadn't
They'll
came.
start coming in.
Yeah, and local sales tax hadn't came in yet either.
Oh, and just for something you told me the other day in regards to sales tax, our new car lot up here
Yeah.
is making a,
Top 5, isn't that right?
yeah, top 5 sales tax generators in this town now is, what's the name of that?
TriStar.
TriStar? Yeah, TriStar Auto Sales. Doing great. That's awesome. Helps us a lot.
So we should be around 17% for 2 months, so.
Well, I know we've had several, police has had issues with some vehicles,
Yeah.
maintenance costs that are kind of up, fixing some broken items. Okay, first reading of new ordinances. Ordinance number 593, an ordinance adopting an unclaimed property policy. This ordinance is designed to cover when property's turned in down here, if the city finds there's a bicycle on the bridge that hasn't been picked up in 3 days, and the police department brings it in, we have no policy. Okay, now how do we've got it, how do we deal with it? Unclaimed money, people bring money in, how do we deal with it? This ordinance will be to cover those issues. Unclaimed personal property, as used in this ordinance, shall mean all personal property such as bicycles, vehicles, electronics, jewelry, phones, clothing, furniture, appliances, and other items that come to be in the possession of the city through abandonment or other means. Unclaimed personal property does not include cash checks, bank account, pension funds, stocks, bonds, or other such items which are reported to the state treasurer pursuant to the Uniform Unclaimed Property Act. This money, we gotta give it to the governor. Does not include city personal property. That's covered under another policy. Any weapon, including but not limited to firearms or knives, or property that is seized and or forfeited through law enforcement action. Section 2, notice to owner, all unclaimed personal property which comes into the possession of any department of this city shall, if it remains unclaimed for a period of 60 days, be delivered to the purchasing agent to be disposed of under these provisions. Prior to disposal of the unclaimed personal property, the purchasing agent shall make reasonable efforts to notify the owner, including mailing notice to the owner by certified mail to the owner's last known address, if such has not been done by the department that came in possession of such unclaimed property before delivery to the purchasing agent. Do I have any discussion in regard to ordinance number 593? There be no discussion. Do I have a motion to approve first reading of ordinance number 593?
Motion to approve ordinance 593.
Councilman Green's made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Councilwoman Phillips seconds. Call the roll, please.
Gillum.
Aye.
Bunch. Green.
Yes.
Phillips.
Aye.
Templin.
All right. Okay, first reading of ordinance number 594. An ordinance to amend the Rocky Top Municipal Code, Title 14, zoning and land use control. This is amending the short-term rental regulations, Chapter 3. The changes are, we're requiring an inspection by the fire department annually of these short-term rental properties. It covers, and most municipalities that have short-term rentals have the same sort of policies, kind of like the inspection motels get. Actually, we don't do that, the state does that, but it's the same premises. And there'll be documentation provided in each short-term rental. And it's an annual certification signed off by the fire department that it's been inspected, it has a working fire extinguisher, it has a smoke detector in each living area in the building, and also has a carbon monoxide detector. Am I missing any changes on that?
No,
Well,
and it's each unit now.
yeah, the previous ordinance called out just, this was per address. So you could actually have 10 short-term rentals at one address. You only paid for the one address. The change here is if you have 10 rentals at that single each one is an individual inspection because the fire department has to inspect every single one of them. And that's, other municipalities we spoke to, that's how they do it. Is there any questions in regards to the first reading of ordinance number 594? Any discussion? There be no discussion. Do I have a motion to approve ordinance number 594 on its first reading?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Bunch made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Gillum seconds. Call roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Timplin.
Aye. Second and final reading of ordinance 592. An ordinance amending the zoning regulations. This covers section number 408.4.2, zoning ordinance, City of Rocky Top, in regards to real estate signs. The old requirement was it would allow the sign up to 32 square feet. 32 square feet is a really big sign. This drops it to 16 square feet. This is signage that would note for sale, for lease, or for rent. And it's allowed, it can't be illuminated, and you can only have one sign per property, and it can't be over 16 square feet. Do I have any questions regarding the second reading of ordinance number 592? There be no questions, do I have a motion
I'll make that
to
motion.
approve on second reading? Okay, Councilman Gillum's made the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Councilwoman Phillips has seconded, call roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Timplin.
Aye. Okay, adoption of resolutions, resolution 603. Resolution to submit an application requesting fiscal year 2025 infrastructure planning grant funds to implement water and/or wastewater system planning projects. Whereas the funds have been authorized and appropriated by the Infrastructure Planning Grant Program to be used for eligible infrastructure planning grant projects, the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development has been designated to administer those funds. And whereas the state of Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development has deemed the City of Rocky Top eligible to apply for and receive fiscal year 2025 IPG funding for water and/or wastewater planning project activities. And whereas the City of Rocky Top, acting by and through the Board of Aldermen, proposed to apply for the above-mentioned infrastructure planning grant funds for the purpose of implementing eligible water and/or wastewater planning activities that will benefit the residents of Rocky Top. And whereas the City of Rocky Top will be responsible for the local match funding of 5% to be provided in full and in conjunction with IPG funds in the event that project activities are successfully awarded. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor, it should say,
City Council.
yeah, Board of Aldermen. For the City of
She
Rocky Top.
printed it before I changed
Yeah.
it.
As follows. That the City of Rocky Top hereby resolve to submit an application to the State of Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development requesting fiscal year 2025 infrastructure planning grant funds in an amount not to exceed $500,000 for up to 3 categories, not to exceed $200,000 per category for water and/or wastewater planning project activities. Do I have any discussion on resolution number 603? There be no discussion. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 603 as read?
Make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Bunch has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Gillum, second. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Timplin.
Aye. Okay. Resolution number 604, a resolution for support of Israel. This is, Councilman Green approached us with this, what, a week ago? I've been thinking about this for the last nearly year. It's kind of, well, maybe we should have done this before. No, I think now's the time to do it. Whereas, on October 7th, 2023, Israel suffered the largest terrorist attack since the Holocaust as a terrorist organization, Hamas, carried out an unprovoked attack from the Gaza Strip on the nation of Israel, murdering more than 1,200 people from 31 countries. And whereas such brutality defies human dignity and is abhorrent regardless of who the perpetrators or victims may be, and whereas the nation of Israel, though constantly maligned and its very existence threatened, has the right to defend itself just as any other nation. And whereas we hold fast to the belief in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who chose a people, Israel, fewer in number than all the other peoples, and made a covenant with them, saying, I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Whereas we're compelled and commanded to take and stand in solidarity to support Israel's ability to defend itself from any threat of violence, terrorism, or war. And whereas we condemn the violence conducted against Israel in this current conflict by Hamas and any other nation or organization that may come against Israel, and we adhere to the teachings of Scripture to bless Israel and commit to pray for the peace of Israel and all its inhabitants. Now therefore be it resolved, the mayor and city council of Rocky Top do hereby proclaim this day, September 19th, 2024, the city of Rocky Top will recognize annually the 7th day of October as a day of prayer, of blessings and peace for the nation of Israel in remembrance to the lives lost. Do I have any questions or discussions in regards to resolution number 604? There be no questions or discussion. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 604 as written?
I make a motion to approve
Okay.
the resolution for support of Israel.
Councilman Green has made the motion. Do I have a
And
second?
I'll second.
Councilman Bunch, second. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Timplin.
Aye. Do we have any unfinished business to come before the board? No unfinished. New business, infrastructure planning grant.
That's just a vote on the administrators and engineers. Administrators will be community development partners, engineers Cannon and Cannon.
Okay. That's who supported us on all our other projects over the last few years. Excuse me. Do I have a motion to approve the infrastructure planning grant with community development partners in Cannon and Cannon?
I'll make that motion, sir.
Okay, Councilman Gillens made the motion. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Councilwoman Phillips seconded it. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Timplin.
Aye. Basic emergency operation plans. We have an amendment here. Actually, what are we doing here?
You've already voted on the operations plan, and so Red Cross amended some things, and this is their amendment that they sent. And y'all have to vote on that amendment.
I mean,
It's amendment to what we voted on earlier.
Yes. What, 2 or 3 months ago?
yeah, and all I'm seeing here is,
Yeah, that's all she said we needed to vote
yeah,
on.
there's just some nomenclature changes, nothing that really means anything. Yeah. It doesn't concern us how many victims are treated in shelters. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the amendment to the basic operation plan? As written.
I'll make the motion, sir.
Okay, Councilman Gillum's made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
Councilwoman Phillips, second. Call the roll, please.
Gillum.
Aye.
Bunch. Green.
Yes.
Phillips.
Aye.
Templet.
All right. Do I have anything else to come before the board? There'll be nothing else to come before the board. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, folks, for coming.